live? Oh, I'm live. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of the Mindminx Show. I am your favorite Mindminx, and I have some great news. If you're listening to that beat in the background, that is an original created for the Mindminx Show by Castro Beats. So everybody go follow him, flood his Instagram, and tell him how cool it fucking sounds, because it sounds great. I am loving every second of this. And I wanted to talk really quick about an awesome thing that happened last night. So I took my husband on a date, and we went to one of our favorite steakhouses over in Fairfield, New Jersey, called Franklin Steakhouse. And I ordered a drink. It was super delicious. It was called a watermelon spritz. Really good. And by the time my food came, I had finished my first drink, almost done. And so we ordered a second one, knowing fully well I do not drink while I'm eating. It's one of the things we learned with our weight loss surgery stuff. And so by the time we were ready to go, my whole drink was still there. So I asked my waitress, I was like, can I take this to go? Good morning, Desert Flower. And she's like, no, we can't do that. And I was like, damn, that's the only thing I miss about lockdown. You used to be able to take drinks home like that. She's like, all right, let me go ask the owner. And I was like, no. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. And she starts laughing, and she comes back with a cup. And she's like, I want to see you put this in the cup right now, and you better not drink it anywhere. I was like, I promise you I won't. As a matter of fact, I'll be, talking about this on the show tomorrow. She's like, what do you mean you're going to be talking about this tomorrow? So I want to give a shout out to Franklin Steakhouse, which I'm sorry, I think it's one of the best steakhouses in my area. In Fairfield, New Jersey, and Anna was an amazing waitress. She was so cool. She could have been like, nah, sorry, either down it now or you're gonna have to just, lose it. And she let me take it home, and I got to enjoy it. So thank you, Franklin Steakhouse, and to Anna. All right, so let's get into it. We are live on location at Absalom, which is located 223 223 DeGraw Avenue in Teaneck, New Jersey. And Absalom is the official host of the Mindminx Show. And now I want to introduce my guest. I have today with me Vanessa Vega. Hashtag not the porn star. So I'm going to turn my screen around because I'm on IGTV Live as well. Say hello.
Hi.
Hello, beautiful. Oh my gosh. All right. So I need to tell this story, and then I'm going to let you do the talking, because obviously we know I can talk. So I met Vanessa through a mutual acquaintance. Everybody knows that we flooded last year and Vic lost his truck. So we had to go get a new truck. The first dealership, I've already told the story a million times. They do not deserve any more energy from me. But so we went to a second. We went to Fetty Ford in, is that Clifton or still Little Falls?
Clifton.
It's Clifton?
Yeah.
And as soon as we pulled up, this really great guy came right up to us and was like, hey, how can I help you? So we told him what happened. And he asked me if I wanted to trade in my car. Everyone knows I love my car. That's going nowhere. But in any case, we ended up buying the car. He was this really great guy named Frank Peru, sales guy at Fetty Ford. And he introduced me to Vanessa. Hello.
Hi. Yeah, Frank's great. He is like the most happy, outgoing person, and definitely a great salesperson. So.
Well, he got us to buy a truck. And my husband got the souped up Explorer. Like
nice.
He's got massagers in his seats.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, let's. My God, they're already assholes up there. So you are actually born in Colombia.
Yes.
And I was shocked. So we were talking about your name and how when we Google you, the reason why on all of your social media it says Vanessa K. Vega, which could have stood for knockout, for 100, Kickstart, a million different things. What does the K stand for?
Actually, now that you mention it, I might start sticking to that just because it's a better reason for it. So the K is Karen, my first name.
Which, okay, then you just floored me, because Karen right now in today's culture is not a good thing. But you were born in Colombia.
I don't know. I think my mom says she was watching like some American TV and it just inspired her, but it was either that or Wendy. She was a Peter Pan fan.
Oh.
So, I'm not sure. I don't think there was like a winning. No, there was no winning. Either
So
choice.
is Vanessa your middle name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank God.
Oh, absolutely.
Because-
Everybody's like, you look more like a Vanessa. I'm like, I know. I hate the name. I hate
But
my first name.
it's funny because you didn't know that however many years later, the name Karen would have
I didn't like it before it became like a bad thing. So I was like, okay, yeah. I didn't like it anyway. And by then, everybody was calling me Vanessa already. So.
That's good.
There's literally like 2 people in the whole world that call me Karen, and they do it when they're angry at me.
So your mom and your dad.
Not even my mom or my dad. It's one of my coaches, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he gets onion topic. He gets whenever I do something wrong, he's like, "Dang it, Karen!" I'm like, that's when I know I messed up.
Wait, he says "dang it." Okay, I understand why he says Karen.
Every time, because when I went to Thailand, like he was the one that I was alone, so my coaches were like, "You're gonna take care of her," and I would just like go somewhere, and he's like, "Dang it, Karen, don't die." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do my best."
I love it. You're gonna have to get him a cup that says "dang it, Karen."
Oh, absolutely.
Well, so we were talking about your name because the reason why you have Vanessa K. Vega is because if you Google the name Vanessa Vega, what is it? Tell everybody.
So a lot of people know the name Vanessa Vega just because when you Google it, the first thing that comes up is a porn star.
That's crazy. Which explains, though, why my engineer was like, that sounds familiar. True story.
I was like, was that Bang Buzz that I see that
You're
on?
such an ass.
Yeah, when I started doing like acting and I started my acting school, everybody was like, I think you might have to like do something about it just for the children.
Well, luckily, because we had the conversation, I only looked up Vanessa K because I didn't want to go through because I didn't know it was a porn star. You just said that there was somebody else out there that already had it, and he said he was familiar with it, so I thought it was an actress also. So I didn't get to see that.
Good, you don't want to.
I don't want to see that.
I've tried Googling. I'm like, oh. Okay.
But no, thank God, because I think I Googled you while I was at work, so I was on my work computer. Could you imagine if IT goes through my history?
Oh, absolutely. It's funny because when I first said that, like when I first found out about it, like everybody, like all of my friends were like, yo, now we want to Google it. Like, that's not how it works. No.
They're supposed to be Googling me, not. So you actually studied radio and TV post-production. Where did you go study that?
So first I went to Bergen Community College and then I went to Montclair.
My alma mater.
Oh.
I graduated from Montclair in 2000.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just right after it became university. I always tell everybody, because when I applied and got in, it was still only a college.
Yeah.
And when it became university, I was like, yeah, there's no way they would have accepted me if it was university status. So I like slid under the table.
Yeah, no, I love it. I honestly love post-production, like editing and putting stuff together. I found that I liked it more as a hobby than as a job.
Okay.
Just because a lot goes into it, and when I started doing it as a job, it just felt very like pressure. It just felt like it wasn't fun anymore. So it's like, I don't want to do this if it's not fun. And a lot of people gave me like listen, I don't know how I feel about this because I love my work to be as best as I can do it. I don't want to put something like half-assed out there. So that was one of my biggest things, and
I don't blame you. I started feeling that way too. There was so much pressure for me to like monetize the show, and it was a lot of everybody I spoke to. How are you monetizing it? How are you monetizing? It's for me. This is a hobby. Like people spend thousands of dollars a month on cocaine as a hobby. So please stop, talking shit about me having a radio show that I'm not monetizing. So I completely understand. What?
Money on porn too.
And my friends were making fun of me because they were like, if you ever need money, now you know you got you got people following you and they want to see your OnlyFans. I was like, we're not doing this.
Oh my gosh.
Because then I'd be competing with the other Vanessa Vega.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see how much you can.
It's like, girl.
Oh my, is she pretty at least? Because not for nothing, and I told you this earlier, you're freaking gorgeous. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never went
Oh,
as
you
much
never
as to
looked?
click
Okay.
the.
All right. They don't have any. Well, yeah, images probably don't help you.
Yeah, I didn't really want to go into.
So, from the post production, did you go into modeling and acting, or was that like always a something?
So modeling and acting was always a thing, especially acting. Like since I was 5 years old, if you ask my mom, she was like, I would watch like telenovelas and I'd be reciting everything. And I'd be like the most dramatic 5-year-old because I learned from like those Spanish soap operas and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, Roberto.
¿Por qué?
So I always liked that. I think one of the reasons I went into post-production was because my parents wanted me to do something more. Like, they're very traditional, so they were like, we don't want you to, like, study acting. We want you to do something more stable.
And practical, I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But then growing up, they realized that, like, the one thing I love, I'm creative. I can't be, like, in a room doing, like, one single thing. And they've realized it because I've tried office work. I've tried everything, and, like, it's great jobs. It could be probably, like, somebody's dream job. And to me, I'm just like, why am I here? I need to be doing something. I need to be acting. I need to be moving. I need to be like climbing something, doing something. I'm just overall, like I've always been into singing and anything creative.
And you've done quite a few films already.
Yeah, I've done a couple, mostly short films, independent films. And after this film that I'm going to do this week, I'm officially going to be in the union. So I'm excited for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So tell us about your first film.
So, let me think. My first film was a background. I did some background stuff for, what was it? The Good Fight. Yeah, I think it was The Good Fight. I did some background work. It was just very basic, but right there, like, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah,
it was
that was
absolutely what I
enough.
wanted to do.
Even as a background, that was enough.
Which what's funny is like we filmed this. It was a winter scene, and it was summer when we filmed this. So I was wearing knee-high boots, jeans, like turtleneck sweater, and I was like, we were dying, and it was like I think it was like a 10-hour shoot outside.
My gosh.
It was so bad that the union stepped in, and they were like, you need to pay them more because that's like forced labor.
Yeah, it's torture.
Yeah. So we got paid more, so it was worth it.
That's great. And when I was Googling you, you were on the main poster. What was that?
Yeah, so that was one of I think it was like maybe last year, one of my few like lead roles, which I loved. It was an independent film, great people. The director, Larry Rosen, was amazing. And I was happy because I got the opportunity. I love like thriller movies, and that's what it was.
Oh, it was a thriller. Okay.
Yeah, it was a short film. I think it was like 10 minutes. It was originally supposed to be longer, but they wanted it for film festivals, so they worked around that. It was really fun. It was good. I was supposed to look to like this guy's wife, so he tries to kidnap me. Traditional like girl walking on the road story.
Oh gosh.
But it was great. We filmed it in like one of the biggest snowstorms last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I think it was Cedar Grove that we filmed it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Intriguing. Wait, where? Where in Cedar Grove? Because like that's my like stomping ground. So.
I don't really remember. It was somebody's house. It was like we had somebody's house to do that in, but it was definitely fun. We were nominated for so many awards, so I was really happy because it was my first lead role. I was like, oh my god, like.
And where could we find it if we wanted to see it?
I believe there's in YouTube and Instagram, and no, it's on Facebook as well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna watch that. You want to know something? I've been learning more and more about these short films, and I love them because not for nothing, I don't have a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And like giving up even an hour and 15 minutes for a movie is such a big commitment that, you know, like 10 minutes, like, yeah, I can do that. And I think that's awesome. So I really am liking that I'm learning more and more about these short films.
And they're great movies. Like, you wouldn't think you can get like a whole movie in 10 minutes. And it was just fun. I loved my experience overall. But what was funny is that because we were nominated, this was my first time being nominated for anything. And I was just sitting there, like, watching the premiere. And then they're like, come up and, like, talk. And I was like, what?
You weren't prepared for that.
Nobody told me about this, and they're like, come here, and I was like, I had like my backpack on, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just standing here. And then I just walk away awkwardly. I'm like, oh my god.
Just walk away awkwardly.
It's just like, I'm a just
Go
leave,
that way.
leave now. Because, like, if you know me, too, I'm, like, the most, like... I honestly, like, I feel like part of me does it purposely. Like, I'm the most awkward person. Like, I'll be that person that I'm just like, yeah, I'm just a step away. Like, we're not doing this. Like, I make things super awkward, but I love it.
That's okay. It makes it more memorable.
Oh, absolutely. I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I'm a little weird, but I make life fun. Like, you're always gonna be laughing with me.
What is the name of it? Because we've been talking about it, but like I forgot to ask. What's the name of the movie?
It's called Vagari.
Vagari. Okay. So actually, I will do that. Spell it for me. V-E.
It's V-A-G-A-R-Y. I'll probably be posting it on my Instagram just because when it first came out, I wasn't allowed to post it because it was going into like film festivals. And I think like everybody wanted to watch it, and then it just like one of those things that just got lost. When I could finally post it, it got lost between like everything. So I think I should probably post it sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Did it win any of the awards that they was nominated for?
No, unfortunately. We got a lot of second places.
Okay.
But, I mean, the director, Larry Rosen, he did win an award for a different movie that he did. But we got a lot of second places for different festivals.
That sounds familiar. Do you think he's a porn star?
Maybe. We got to Google him.
Catchy names are like.
Yeah, right? All right. So you also... along with all of the modeling, acting, and post-production work that you've been doing, along the way, you started doing something called, I know I said it right before, and I'm about Muay Thai.
Yes.
I said it right, okay.
Listen,
Talk about that.
Not many people get it right.
Really?
Honestly, I have heard Muay Thai, Mai Tai.
Muay Thai. It's not a drink.
Yes, it is. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, if you can't pronounce it after the like, I'll correct you, and if you still can't pronounce it right, we can't be friends.
Oh.
We can't do this.
But it's the way it's spelled, it's M-U-A-Y.
Muay Thai.
But I want to say, well, no, I guess, yeah, it's because like moi. I want to say Muay Thai.
It's still pretty, like, close
That's
to
closer.
it. I just don't get, like, the Muay Thai. I'm like, where do you get the two O's? I'm not sure.
So how did that happen?
So I was always, this is funny, I was the most unathletic person you will ever meet in your life. Since I was little, my dad got me started on tennis, but outside of that, I hated anything athletic. Like, it got to a point where my gym teacher refuses to add me on Facebook. Like, she's friends with my whole graduating class, except for me.
Except you. Wow.
I was like the vein of her existence, I swear.
Well, at least you're in her memory somehow.
Like, I just remember all of high school. She's like, Vega, come on, like, do something, just once. Like,
And high school was here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was just like, she spent 4 years screaming at me. And it's funny because nobody ever expected that I'd be the athletic one in the family. I was like, they cut down a tree in my high school because of me hiding behind it when we had to run the mile.
Are you kidding me?
It was that bad. They were like, one year we just walked in and they were like, what happened to the tree? Like, people were hiding behind it. It's like, that's me.
Oh my gosh. All right, so you definitely, but well, I would understand because you're more into the modeling, into the acting. It's, you know.
Yeah. So in college, I had a few friends that did Muay Thai and MMA, and at first I was like, I have no idea what this is. But I went to training there, and I just loved it. I was like, I want to try it, and I was the most terrible person at it. But I just loved it, and then I wasn't like as close to those people anymore, so I switched gyms.
Okay.
Which ended up being amazing because that's how I found NJMT, the gym that I'm at now, and everybody's like a family. It's the most like amazing gym, to be honest. Like, we are not about cliques, we're not about like, everybody's just so welcoming, and the teachers, like the coaches, they know what they're doing. Because at the other gym that I was at, I think it just wasn't my learning style. And then I came here, and everybody, like, the coaches look for a way to teach you. Like, even if you're, like, just not getting it, they will find a way to get you to understand it.
Nice.
which is funny because my coach does that. Like sometimes he's like, why don't you understand this? Like my head does, my body does not. And then next week he comes in with like some other attempt to like get me to like
That's great.
get it right. Yeah.
So for everyone who doesn't know what Muay Thai, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Explain what it is.
Muay Thai is Thai martial arts. It started because this was their main form of fighting, like their soldiers during wars. That's how they fought, and then it just became a sport. So in Thailand, it's interesting because this is actually a big job for them. For them, a lot of they get their kids into Muay Thai since they're 5 and they start fighting. So it's a huge sport, and it's so amazing because the culture of the sport itself is just a very humble culture, and it's very different to other martial arts in the sense that they tell you really okay, you're gonna get hit. It's a rough martial arts, honestly, because they tell you you're gonna get hit. Do not avoid things. You're gonna block, and if you get hit, it's your fault, but you're gonna hit harder. So it's a little different. Most things are avoid getting hit, do not get hit. This one's you're gonna get hit, but you're gonna hit harder.
I love that, actually, because that's exactly how life is.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to avoid much, so.
And that's one of the biggest things because we always say this. My coach always gives life lessons, and he teaches us about training, but he literally it applies to life. So he will tell us one time, he was like, guys, whether you're in the ring or you're out in life, never chase anybody, because we're always trying to chase and attack. And he's like, that's how you get hurt. He was like, do not chase people, not in the ring and not in life. They will come to you eventually. And I was like, you're not wrong.
No.
You are really not wrong. And honestly, that's what I love about it, because I have grown so much in the past 4 years. And I was just telling them about that because the gym turned 20 last month.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah, and I was telling them, I came in as, honestly, anybody that knows me as this immature kid, that I was self-conscious, I was just getting myself into just any drama. And then throughout the past 4 years, back then I couldn't control my emotions, I would just get mad. And now, if you see me, honestly, this is why my coach actually let me fight now, because he said, you're so mentally composed. You control yourself. Yes, sometimes you still kind of he's like, I see a glimpse of that, but you control it. You catch yourself and you fix it. And I'm so grateful for that, because it's helped me in life. Because I've become this person that I see the best in things. I always make the best out of the situations. And just in fighting, if you get hit, whether it's live or in the ring, if you get hit, I don't react. I just control myself, focus, and think how I can fix this.
Right.
How I can come back stronger.
Love it.
And it applies to everything. So that's one of my biggest things. Honestly, everybody has to try Muay Thai at some point, because it's such a great life lesson. You just learn how to push through, how to be strong. And one of my coaches always told me, he's like, regardless of getting hurt or whatever, there's always something you can do. Because I was like, ow, my wrist hurt. He's like, well, you can do abs. I was like, what if my back hurts? He's like, you can kick. What if my leg hurts? He's like, well, you can watch fights. There's always something you can do. There's no excuses. You just got to find a way.
Love it. And so after 4 years of training, you had your first fight in March of this year. Mm-hmm. That's pretty impressive, because you are very petite. And it was interesting because you said before your coach is a lot bigger than you.
My training partner.
Your training partner.
Yeah, my main training partner, Leo. First of all, he's a guy. He's pure muscle. You see, he's all muscle. And he's heavier than me. And it's funny because everybody says, he does not go easy on anybody. He doesn't understand the concept of going light. And that helped me, because for 2 years, I always wanted to fight, but the first 2 years I wasn't really advancing a lot. And it's interesting because after COVID, a lot of people kind of stayed away from the gym for a while. So the two of us ended up partnering up, because we were the only closest to some sort of height, I guess. Mm-hmm. And we became really close friends. He's like a brother to me at this point. My mom agrees that she adopted him at this point. And at first, I couldn't even hold for him. I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I would hit myself in the face. But that's one of the things about Muay Thai. I was like, you know what? Like, what am I doing? Am I gonna cry or am I gonna step it up? Like, I gotta be good enough partner for him to get a good training and for me to learn. And it's been like that since then. It's been a while. We train every single day, and he levels up, I level up. Like, we always come up with something, and we're talking to our coaches, like, behind the other's back, like, how do I get him? Like, what do I do? Like, how can I, like, punch him? He's punching me first.
But that actually helped you when you actually were fighting someone in your own weight category.
Yeah. Okay. So I would get really nervous. Like, my fight camp was ups and downs. No joke, when I got in the ring, I was not nervous at all. But throughout fight camp, there were tears, there were screams. Everybody was worried about me because I felt like every other day I was just crying, I was running, there was breakdowns every other day. It was rough, but it prepared me for the fight because when the fight came, I was like, fight camp was so much rougher than this. And everybody went hard. I love you guys because, like, they all went hard on me. They would, like, put me in the center and I had to fight, like, 10 people.
Wow.
I was like, all right, I'm prepared for this. And Leo would not go easy on me. So one time I remember I was crying. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. He's like, listen, you keep up with me. I am heavier than you. I am bigger than you. He's like, trust me, no girl at 115 pounds is going to punch heavier than me. And I was like, you're not wrong. And when I got in that ring, she landed a kick and I was like, that's it?
It didn't hurt. I love it.
It didn't hurt. To this point, I'm like, either like I'm numb or like you're just not hitting hard. Like Leo hits so much harder and everybody else hits so much harder. So I'm like, all right, we can do this.
How did that fight go?
It went good. It was a smoker, so those are like for very like beginners, and we didn't. Nobody wins. Both arms get raised.
Okay.
But it is definitely a fight. Both people come in to show. One of the things that we said was like the crowd either way decides the winner. There's always like the crowd automatically
cheering.
is like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
person.
yeah.
So that was
the cheering louder for you?
It was.
Yay.
So I loved it. I loved that. And I landed, she was more of a boxer. She was a great fighter. Props to her. She was she knew what she was doing. A great opponent for sure. But I think my gym is just a little more kick-based and hers was boxing. And
okay.
I was thankful because we kind of had an idea and my coaches prepared me for that. So when we found out it was that gym, my coaches focused on that. So I got lucky because one of the coaches that I told you, the one that calls me Karen, Onion Topic, he stays in Thailand like the whole year. But he came a few months before without knowing about my fight. But it was good because I got to train with him. And he's been like world champion in Muay Thai. So this guy knows. And he would take my flaws and turn them into something I could use against this girl. So it helped me. And then every week I was training with my main coach, with both coaches, Crew Joe and Crew Ray. And they focused on every single detail, like the smallest details. And I felt prepared. It was funny because I had to do like 200 kicks, 100 kicks every day. And when he first told me, he's like, oh, do 100 kicks. I was like, you're fine. You're joking, right? He's like, no, do 100 kicks. I was like, oh, you're not joking. Okay, I'm just gonna
explain what 100 kicks mean like.
So it was actually teeps. So it's like front kicks. And literally I had to, after like 4 hours of training, I had to stand in front of the bag and like kick 100 times.
The bat.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, I can't feel my legs. They feel numb. He's like, you're doing it right.
Wait, I have a stupid question for you. Have you yet, or will you ever, go for Halloween as Chun-Li?
No, I don't think so.
You have to.
Maybe I should.
Absolutely.
I've heard so many things because post-COVID we had to wear masks, which was torture training with the mask on. And it was funny because I'm very extra with the way I dress because I model. I'm a girly girl. Like I wear my heels, but then I'm kicking people. So I make sure you know I'm a girly girl. Like I come with my headbands, with my tiaras, with my little bows, and I would come in and I had like my hair up, and they were like, "Yo, you look like the girl from Street Fighter." I'm like, I know.
See, Chun-Li. I call that. All right, so let's get into it. We spent the last half hour getting to know the background of you. You wanted to talk about something special that you started. I want to know, well, first, so Vanessa does her own vlog on positivity and mental health. And I wanted to ask, was this like a lockdown quarantine thing that, because this is how my show was born. This is what kept me.
Not exactly. I think it was something that I wanted to do for a very, very long time. And I just kept putting it off. And I actually only started this year, like in January, I started it. I finally just decided, I'm going to go for it. Growing up again, like I moved here when I was little. I left my whole family. There was some people that were close to me, like in my family, and they were very hard on me. I think Hispanic people can sometimes be a little front.
I know.
And it was rough growing up because I wasn't your girly girl. And a lot of people were like, why can't you wear heels? Why aren't you wearing makeup? Or like I would get like scratches and stuff because I was just always running around like climbing something. They were like, you look terrible. Like nobody's ever going to want you. Aww. Nobody's going to want to like be with you. And that stuff really got to me. And it was with me for a while. So it took a lot, but I'm past it, and I realized like they didn't know better. Mm-hmm. It was just they were raised the same way.
Mm-hmm. So they were just passing it down.
That was the way to go. And I've gotten to a point where I made peace with it, and they've apologized too. So it's fine, but it took a while, and I kind of wanted to put the things that I learned and the things that helped me out there. And because I know a lot of people go, not necessarily that exact same scenario, but there's so much going on. Like there's pressure, there's social media now. People feel self-conscious. Feeling self-conscious is such a common thing now for girls, for guys too. It's not talked about enough, but guys feel pressure too.
Sure.
So I think that's a big thing that I wanted people to have access to that information faster than I did, because it took me a while. I had to look up like online, I had to read, I had to do all this stuff, and I want to put it out there for you guys so that it's there, and all you have to do is watch like a 7-minute video and you know what to do. So maybe like a little before COVID, I started getting into like law of assumption, law of attraction, and that helped me out too, because it helped me feel more in control of my life, which was something that I never felt before. And so I know a lot of people don't really understand the full extent of it, so that's why I make my videos more broad. Okay. So that even if you don't want to believe in the law of assumption and attraction, you can still enjoy my videos and get the most out of it, because it's a general mental health topic. But there are some parts where I do talk about manifestation, about techniques, because one of the biggest things is self-concept. And aside from law of attraction or assumption, self-concept is what makes us feel good about ourselves. It's like what how our subconscious sees us. Okay. And our subconscious is, everything that our subconscious has is created from things that we've heard growing up. Right. So we got to reprogram that. But it's so hard because we don't have easy access to it. So it's a lot of work. So that's where techniques come in. And I like talking about them because I know they've helped me. And it's just like visualization or writing, scripting. For me, I'm a big music person. So I love I will listen to the music that makes me feel the way I know I need to feel in the moment. Gotcha. So I just put that out there because it doesn't just apply for manifestations, but it applies for general life. Just if you're going through a tough time, if you're having a rough day. And like I always say, like I say in my videos, it works because I came from this person that I was very negative, very sarcastic. I always saw like the glass half empty, and working through those techniques. One time I went to my gym and I was like, you know what? I'm always so gloomy on Mondays because nobody likes Monday. But I was like, you have to reprogram your mind. So I would come in. I think they thought I was on drugs, I swear. I would come in. I was like, oh my God, guys, like, happy Monday. Mondays are amazing. Like, I was jumping off the walls. So like, what is wrong with you? Like, Leo was like, are you in love? Are you high? Like, what's going on?
Well, no, I love that his first question was, are you in love? Because that's a good point. We always do seem a little happier when we fall in love.
But it was crazy because a lot of people in my gym were like, you're glowing today. And I was like, really? Like, and then eventually it just became natural to me, and I actually did love Mondays, and I wasn't acting like I was like high anymore, but it became a normality, and now people at the gym are like, you're always so happy. And I'm like, oh, I'm extra happy today. And they're like, that's possible? You're always so peppy and happy. And I love that, because from repetition, it became part of who I was. It is who I am now. And I want people to understand that if you believe it, if you repeat it, it gets ingrained in your subconscious and it becomes you. So whether you want to, whatever you want, if you want a certain job, if you want to find love, whatever, if you want money, you just have to put yourself in the mindset to attract it and repeat to yourself that you are worth it, that is there for you. And everything just comes, because if you believe that you are ready for it and that you are worthy of it, your mind starts giving you ideas of how to create the situation, and you just got to follow through.
I love that. I actually subscribe to that kind of belief too, and I'm always manifesting, but I'm huge in astrology and moon, so I'm always making my moon water and doing my manifestation. So I completely agree with that 100%. As soon as your mind believes it, you're right. I love that, the way it'll come up with ideas to how to make it happen.
And it's crazy because I have manifested so much stuff when I tell you. And it's crazy stuff. Like, you would never think it happens. Like, one time, because I didn't like my old job, and I was like, I need a job that's just like 5 minutes from my house because I don't like driving on Route 4. I need a job that lets me train because I have training at 5. And a job that's full-time. Mind you, like, how is this possible? Like, that I don't have to wake up early, so a full-time job that doesn't start like at 7 a.m. but doesn't end at 5, and it's next to my house, and I don't have to do much. And I got that job.
Nice.
And I didn't have qualifications for it. I didn't have the knowledge for it. And they're like, we're going to teach you. I was like, and they pay like $5 more than my old job. I was like, yeah, we're doing, and I had weekends off. I was like, we're doing that. But again, it was an office job. So I didn't love it. I'm not an office person. Perfect job though. Great bosses. Everybody was nice. And it's terrible because I legit manifested this. So for the longest time, I had been saving up money, and I did a lot. But I was ready to I was like, I don't have the time to work on so many projects that I want to do. My vlog, I have my acting, my modeling, and I had to put a lot of stuff aside. I was like, you know what? I wish I could like just step away from it. And not joking, 2 weeks later, they're like, I'm sorry, but we're laying you off. But you still get paid. You still get like a lower pay, but you still get paid. And I was like, well, I'll take that. And now I'm literally putting my time into learning about stocks, learning about app creating. I am just doing acting. I'm getting more jobs. And when I tell you, like, so many opportunities opened up, and I was like, this is just insane. Like, I'm getting paid so much better, so many more acting and modeling jobs now, and I have the time to focus on training, and it feels great. And again, it goes back, one of the biggest things on my vlog is perspective. I always say, like, you have to find, because I think it goes back to the law of assumption, where you revise. So if it's something bad, you make it something good. Like, give it a good definition. It doesn't have to be bad. Give it a good definition, because most of the time, the things that we see that are bad, we're creating it in our head, right? Like, if you pay attention, sometimes you'll see somebody upset, and automatically we think like, oh, we did something wrong. But like, what proof do we have?
Right.
Do we actually have proof that it was us? Or are we just creating?
So is that what I was going to ask? What is the law of assumption?
So the law of assumption states that your subconscious is in charge of creating the reality that you're living. So whatever you believe, and not just believe, but whatever you are, that is what you attract. So I like it. Law of attraction and law of assumption are a bit different, just because law of attraction gives you more limits.
Okay.
I'm a very, like, I get what I want person. So I like law of assumption because it's like, if you want it, you got it.
Okay.
So I love it. And it's really, it's tough in the sense that you have to embody what you have. So if you have money, you have to have the mindset that I already have money. Don't be like, oh, one day I'm going to have money. Like, no, I already have money. Like when I tell you, like, I already know next year I'm gonna have a convertible Audi and I'm gonna be wearing my Louis Vuitton heels while driving.
There you go.
So it's one of those things, like when you put yourself in that mindset, you attract the things that are gonna lead you to that. So whether it seems good or bad, everything leads you to that desire that you want. Because what the law of assumption says is that if you desire that, the reason you want it is because God put it in you to want it. And God put it in you to want it because you have the availability. You just got to figure it out.
Gotcha.
It's there for you. You just got to figure it out. So if you think about it, it's interesting because I grew up in a very religious household, and people think that law of assumption gets rid of religion, but it doesn't. It still gives credit to God in the sense that God created the world. But like the Bible said, he rests. He like decided to rest. He created everything. Everything's there for us. Now he's like, you guys have to figure it out.
Gotcha.
So if we want it, it's there for us. We just have to decide to take that path and know that it's there for us. So God was like, if you want to put yourself out there and know that you can achieve it, you can achieve it. If you want to sit in a victim mentality and be like, I'm not worthy of this, you're just going to be there forever.
Yeah.
So you attract it. And again, like I said, like that's one of the things, like I visualize, like, listen, I need to step away from this job and everything is leading me. And I could have easily, when I got laid off, I could have easily been like,
defeated. Yeah, you could have felt defeated.
I could have cried. I could have been like, why? But no, instead of honestly, like 3 years ago, I would have been like, I'm done. Like, life is terrible. But I was like, I have time now. I have time. I have savings. I'm able to just live. I'm able to embody the life that I do want. Because right now, I'm living the life where I choose my own schedule. I'm acting. I get to do whatever I want. I get to spend time with my family. And you know what doesn't make sense, but it's true? I've had money. Like, money just comes in from one source or the other. And I have not had to worry a single moment about money. And I'm still going out with friends. I'm still shopping. I'm still doing everything.
You're not holding yourself up in your apartment, making sure you don't spend it.
Yeah, and it's the law of assumption. Like, I'm attracting all of this. And it's not magic. It's you believing in yourself and attracting positivity. Because the moment you believe in yourself, it's like one of those things, people see you the way you see yourself.
Yes.
And you, like my friends were like, you glow and you attract all of these things that you want and they just come effortlessly to you if you really believe that you are deserving of it. And I'm proof of it. And a lot of people don't believe it. And I'm like, listen, I have proof. Like, I'm living it. Like, a few years ago, I wouldn't believe it either. And I still have limiting beliefs in certain things that I'm working on because I see people, like, I'm in a group, a manifestation group, and they give all these crazy stories. And I'm like, I know I can have that too, but I still have those limiting beliefs. So I'm still working through it, obviously. But I'm like, if all of these people can have all of these things, of course I can too.
Why not you?
And if you think about it, there's people that come from nothing, and they can become presidents. They can become scientists. So why can't we? Why can't we do the impossible? And that's one of the things, like, one of the things that phrases that come up a lot is, it's impossible for you, but it doesn't mean it's for me. I'm the exception to that. Just because somebody's like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm like, it didn't happen for you, but I can make it happen.
Right.
You don't know it.
Right.
People said it was impossible to have phones that don't require to be plugged in. People said it was impossible to, like, do it, like, clicking something in a touch screen.
Yeah. On our watches.
People said it was impossible to fly. Like, we have all of that. And at some point, somebody was like, no, you're crazy. Like, we're not going to do that. But here we are. We're going to the moon. We're doing all of this stuff.
Right.
So why can't I do all this stuff? So that's one of the things I want to get because that helped me feel in control of my life. And that really changed how I felt about myself. It changed my perspective. And one of the things that happened to me recently was that I got upset over a situation, and two people, they were like, oh, why? Like, you always talk about positivity and look at you, like, doing. I'm like, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying the law of assumption is going to make me perfect. I'm still going to get mad.
Ouch.
But you know what? I didn't let it drive me. Like, I wasn't mad all day or, like, for the rest of the week. No, yeah, I got mad and I was like, come on, like, stop it. But 5 seconds later, I was like, okay, we're fine. Like, it's okay. It's no big deal. And that's what it's about. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being flawless, because none of us are. It's about doing your best to see things positively. And like my coach said, like, we have emotions. We're going to have glimpses of losing our like sense of calmness. But the point of it is realizing it and catching ourselves and being able to like pull ourselves together again and be like, okay, I'm not letting that rule me. I'm not walking around with a dark cloud, because I don't have to, because things get better and everything leads to something positive.
Right. And I believe as well that if that happened in that moment, that's what was needed for that moment. And I have a great example. My son needed to get his fiance a new ID, and he couldn't find her birth certificate. And I said, don't get upset. You know it's in the house. You know it's here. Don't get upset. Just look for it calmly. And if you can't find it before your appointment, that's just the universe telling you today wasn't the day. God forbid, on the way to DMV, you could have gotten into an accident. I'm no longer, you know how like you'd get like, oh my gosh, I'm in traffic, I'm gonna be late to work. No, I don't. I get there when I get there. You know, I definitely believe in that aspect of how the universe works.
I agree with that. And it's one, like, again, like, that's all perspective, because like I said, you can see something bad and go happen, and you can focus on how bad it is. Or you can be like, that's gonna lead me to where I want to be.
Right.
It seems bad right now, but it's leading me. It's having people come together. People are always talking about you, even if you're not there, if you don't know.
Right.
One thing that law of assumption says a lot, there's always movement. You don't have to know all of this background stuff going on. You can, what you see, you don't, it's not concrete. Like, it's what you think, but it could be so many other things going on behind, and that's going to lead to something else. Like, it's a domino effect, and you don't know. And if you focus on the negativity, you're just going to stay in that negative place. But if you focus on, yeah, you know, that hurt me, I cried a little, okay, that like broke my heart, or that worried me, but it's going to work out. Like, it's going to lead me to something better.
Right.
You're going to get past it, and at the end, you're going to see why it happened, what it happened for. So I love it. It's helped me so much. And that's why, whether people want to, I would love for everybody to like look into the law of assumption, because it really gives you this freedom, and it's not taking away credit from God, if that is like what you believe in, but it's giving you credit, which is something that we don't get a lot. Like, we are raised to not take credit for things, because we should be humble. And yes, we should be humble, but we shouldn't be downgrading ourselves. We shouldn't be like, oh, I could have done better.
Right.
No, be proud of what you did.
Right.
Be proud that you did your best, and know that even if you didn't, okay, tomorrow's a new day.
Yep.
So you failed. Okay, tomorrow's a new day. Nothing is concrete, nothing is permanent. You can change whatever you want, whenever you want. You just gotta find a way.
Who was it? I think it was like Thomas Edison said that he never failed. He just found 99 different ways not to do it.
Yeah, you just learn something. You learn from your losses. And it's interesting because a lot of celebrities, a lot of people have talked about the law of assumption and attraction, including Nikola Tesla. J-Lo has like a lot of quotes on it. Shakira does too.
Oh crap! I just talked about Edison and Tesla at the same sentence.
I mean, it works. All of them, honestly, have the same belief, though. They all have the same belief, and they all talked about the law of attraction and assumption, and they all have created and done things that you could think, like, no way. Like J-Lo, she didn't come from a rich family. She didn't come from, like money, but she had talent, and she believed in herself. Ariana Grande, she's another one, too, that she was, like, when she was little, she was, like, I'm going to be a Nickelodeon. And she did it. And now she's, like, huge. So there's no limits. You don't have to have certain conditions to be who you want to be. You just got to believe that you are already. Because if you're waiting for the day that you're ready, you're never going to be ready.
Gotcha.
But if you tell your subconscious, like, I'm living that life, I'm already, like, I'm not living like worried that I can't do this, I can't do that. No, I'm able to. I just not right now, but I'm able to. Like, I got this.
Got it.
And it works, honestly. So I would love for people to look into it. And that's what my videos are about. It's even if you don't want to look into the law of assumption, I work my videos so that they will still help you, so that they will still build your self-esteem. And you can use what I'm talking about without changing into other stuff, because it's not for everybody, and I understand that, but I still want to help I want to help a large spectrum of people.
Yeah, as many people as you can.
So I think I'm gonna start a TikTok more focused on manifestation,
Okay.
but I want to keep my Instagram and my YouTube accounts more general.
Gotcha.
So that's why I keep it very minimum, but I do techniques that work for anybody, because it really comes down to your mental health and knowing your worth. And whether a lot of people focus on girls, like how girls feel self-conscious, but I also want to make it like guy-oriented. So my videos, most of the time I use Muay Thai examples. I always say it's not my video unless it has a Muay Thai example. And it's so funny because Muay Thai examples, the ones that I use, I've heard them in my acting classes too, and everything just ties in because it applies to real life. So I love it. Like, things that I learned from my fight, one of the biggest things that I realized was how much I've grown. Because I think I was telling you at the beginning of my fight, everybody is joking now. They actually, my gym, my friends that are supposed to love me, they made a video about this, like one of those like boomerang videos with background music, where coming into the ring. So we should really learn. I feel like we should have learned from this, because 2 people from my gym have already done the same thing, where we go into the ring and then we're short people, so we flip over and we fall into the ring. So I knew this was coming because 2 people have already done it. My friends were like, we were looking at like the ring girls. We're like, a few weeks before, we were like, okay, look at the ring girls. Like, how are they going into the ring? Like, we're gonna make it look good. I was like, let me go for it. Flop. I fall like on my butt. And what's funny is, it's like the other girls' gym was laughing, and I guess they were trying to like make me feel bad. They were like kind of like pointing at me, literally. Like, I looked up and I was like, yeah, but. And my friends, like, they know me very well, and they saw what I went through in fight camp, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna affect her mentally. This is gonna be like terrible. And 3 years ago, I would have cried and like left, but I laughed. I was like, I saw this coming. I knew this was gonna happen, and I literally just looked at my phone like, this is what it is.
You manifested it.
And I really think I did. I really genuinely think I did. And my coach, literally in my corner, he told me, he's like, look at it this way. You get the hardest part of the way.
There you go.
And the next day I was so sore. And I was like, but I didn't get hit directly. Why am I sore? And then he hit me. I was like, my whole body's sore because I fell on the ring. So now it's an ongoing joke on my gym where it's like the ring hits you harder than your opponent.
Well, there you go. So that there, you know, nobody else. Oh, Castro just joined. Castro, you gotta listen to the beginning of it. We are playing your beat, but I don't think people can hear it on my IGTV live. No. All right, but it's playing right now in my ear. All right, so we're almost out of time. So I want to say thank you so much for telling your story. I love that. And your 7-minute videos are available on Instagram and on YouTube. And I'm going to be tagging her Instagram, but tell everybody where they can find you, your social media.
Yeah, so I have Vanessa K.Vega on Instagram. Same thing for my TikTok and my YouTube. I have links for my TikTok and YouTube on my Instagram. And yeah, just check it out. There's also, like I said, an app coming. That's based on my videos for meditation and manifestation. So it should be coming in the next couple of months, and I'll be keeping everybody posted on that.
Very exciting. Thank you again so much for coming on and telling us your story.
Thank you for having me. I love it. I love your show.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody, it's a brand new week, so go own it and mind your favorite minx and join us next time. Have a great week, everyone.